I'm telling you, if you have time to scroll for hours on social media, you have time for a hobby. Welcome, I'm your host, and you're listening to Elevate with Noe, your new favorite and go-to podcast. It's about time you tuned in. Come on this journey with me, and let's get it. Hi ladies, how you doing? I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Actually, I'm glad that you're back. Yeah, girl, welcome back. Today's topic is really gonna be about what I learned in my 20s that you should know. And I'm only gonna say 5 things that I learned. And I'm probably gonna do a series on it to elaborate on each and every point that I wanna go through. We'll probably do a part 2, part 3, or part 4. We'll see. So the first thing that I learned is that your friendship dynamics change. It's crazy how some friends that we used to be super close, always calling each other, going out. As you become an adult, you realize that you're probably not as close with the person, or you start calling less, they are texting you back less than before, like things starting slowing down a little bit. And that's normal, but when you are not self-aware, or you think that your friendship's dynamics always gonna be super tight, super close all the time, you can be disappointed. I realized that not all my friendship dynamics stayed exactly the same. They evolved, yes, but they really did change. And sometimes you might think that, oh my God, it's probably the end of the friendship, but not necessarily. It's just because your friends have different priorities, or they're experiencing different things at the same time. For example, I have certain friends that are already married, starting their new professional career, or they're abroad, so they're no longer in the same city or the same country as me. And these changes can completely transform or shift your dynamic in the friendship. You will realize that the priorities are just simply not the same. You're not with your friends 24/7 like you used to when you were in high school. In high school, you were always seeing the same people, the same group of friends, but now it's different. It's different because your friends are experiencing different phases of their adulthood that you're probably not experiencing at the moment. Having a baby, getting married, being in school, starting a new job, or moving abroad. And it's not a bad thing as long as the person is not being toxic to you, as long as the person is not stopping your growth. Number 2, it's enjoying your own company. So this one is actually a triggering point for me, because when I graduated high school and went to college, everyone started going to different programs, and not all of my friends went to the same college as me. I probably knew 2 or 3 people from my high school who were going to the same college as me. But besides that, that was it. And I realized that I did not feel comfortable being by myself, because the few people that I knew at my college all went into a different program. So what does that mean? What it means is basically you don't have the same schedule, right? Which means that you're probably not going to be eating at the same time. Yeah, your lunch break is definitely going to be different. Probably the moment that you're free to go out to eat, they're probably going to be in class or working on a group assignment or doing an exam. Who knows? So all of those things really frustrated me a lot, and I felt really down. Like, this was a triggering point for me, and it made me feel really down. When you go from being constantly surrounded by your group in high school to now just being by yourself, it shocks you, and it's not pleasant at all. It was to the point that I could not even go to the cafeteria to eat. I was just warming up my meal upstairs, and then I went all the way back to the lockers to eat there, because I didn't want nobody to see me eating alone, and to have this perception of me not having friends, just being rejected, having no friendship whatsoever, not knowing anyone at the school. And I could not deal with this. So that's the triggering point. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I am not comfortable being with me. It was so crazy, because at first you will think, no, what are you talking about? I'm fully comfortable being by myself. Are you really? You're not gonna know until you're face to face to a situation that does not give you any other choice but to be by yourself. And that was me in college. It was really difficult the first session. I was super sad, but what I trying to do to help me navigate through it is basically give me challenges. So instead of trying to hide myself in the lockers, I was warming up my meal and I was trying to scan the cafeteria, the environment, and trying to look for tables that were not too full, where I would see that there were a few people who were eating by themselves. And that's where I start feeling more comfortable just being by myself. And guess what? That's how I end up meeting with so many people and talking to so many people at this college, which was an amazing experience for me, especially knowing that I'm super shy and that I am an introverted person. It was really a great outcome. So number 3 is to be proactive on new income streams. As you know, with technology and AI, you have to understand there is no such thing as a job security. Job stability as well. I personally do not believe that a job is easily replaceable. I'm not saying that every sphere, like every job, are super easy to be replaceable. Like, for example, being a doctor or maybe an architect, it's probably not easily replaceable, but for most jobs, it really is. And you have to understand, with AI taking over and taking a lot of space now, you have to understand that even with the rise of AI, the previous jobs that we used to know when we started high school, now they're probably saturated or they're gonna disappear in a few years. So this is why you need to be proactive. But at the same time, with the help of AI, there's new career path that start emerging out of nowhere that you probably had no clue when you were in high school because of AI, technology, and social media. So now you have to explore those streams because they can save your butt big times. But you're never gonna know if you don't take the time to Google it, if you don't take the time to search from it, to learn. And I'm telling you, even if you have a job, it's no longer enough. It's no longer enough to have one stream of income, okay? So now we're at number 4. Number 4 is the importance of having hobbies. I cannot stress that enough, that this is a must for any human being. Because I cannot tell you how many people that I know who gave up on their hobbies. How do you keep yourself busy outside of just work and studying? Everyone does that. So what makes you interesting as a person? It's your hobbies. And that also helps you stimulate your creativity. So I cannot understand and I do not comprehend the people who stop doing their hobbies. Some people are gonna be like, oh, I don't have time for this. It costs too much money. Okay, the first part is you don't have time to do hobbies. Is this really the truth? Or are you lying to yourself? Because you chose to give up on your hobbies. Nobody forced you to do it. And I'm telling you, if you have time to scroll for hours on social media, you have time for a hobby. And when it comes to the financial aspects of starting a hobby and maintaining it, I understand certain hobbies cost way more money than others. I'm not gonna lie, it is expensive for certain hobbies, not all of them, but there's many other hobbies that you can literally start doing from YouTube or on budget. Like, for example, learning how to paint or draw. You can learn from tutorials on YouTube, getting Canva at the dollar store. So you're staying on budget basically, which is a good thing. I understand that, for example, dancing, it's more expensive. However, on YouTube, there's a bunch of tutorials that allow you some amazing dance move, learning different dance styles as well, the culture of the dance styles, etc., until you feel more capable of going to an actual class, to a physical dance studio to learn from a choreographer or someone who is a professional dancer. Hobbies are a must. It does not only help you with your creativity, it helps you with stress relief, and also it boosts your self-esteem, your self-confidence. Why? Because you feel more capable. You feel like you can do something. You feel like you're good at doing it. At first, you might try a hobby and you feel like you suck at it, and that's normal. Everyone starts somewhere. But as you keep going, you realize that, hey, I'm actually really great at this. This self-confidence that you have, knowing that you're great at doing something, this is good for your whole being. It reminds me also of the Maslow pyramid. I'm probably going to put a picture if you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, the Maslow pyramid, basically, it gives you all those aspects. It's literally categorized in what is important to a human, to know and to feel like you're capable of doing something. Yes, there's also this aspect of being able to feel like you belong somewhere. This feeling of belonging to a social group is one thing, but to also feel like your self-esteem is at the top of its game. Why? Because you feel capable of doing what you're doing. So yeah, so hobbies are a must. Like, it's not something that, oh my God, I'm gonna try and do it whenever I feel like it. No. It's something that you should have. It's not just when you're a kid. Like, you have to understand that your hobbies also not only helps you develop yourself, you're getting to know yourself better as well. And you are discovering new parts of yourself, discovering new talents or hidden talents that you would not even know until you try these hobbies. And who knows? You're probably going to see an opportunity for you to create a stream of income out of it. It doesn't have to always be monetized, but I'm just telling you what's possible. And you cannot really know this unless you experience it. So go get a hobby. If you're someone who used to have a hobby and you stop that, go get it, because I know you have time. You have time. And if you're someone who never had hobbies, there's no better time than now to try. Yeah, and let me know what type of hobbies you're interested in. I'm actually really curious to know. Me personally, I love to dance, and now I'm doing also a little bit of drawing with one of my siblings. It's really crazy because I actually like it. It's very peaceful to draw and paint, and I did not realize it until I started doing it again. It was in high school years ago that I was painting, drawing, all those type of things because of art class, which was mandatory in the school program. But when you graduate high school, you give up on all those things. And now going back in my 20s to learn again how to draw, it's fascinating. It's really fascinating, but it's also very peaceful to do. So I highly recommend. The number 5 is literally to learn about money as early as possible. Why? Because as you already know, financial literacy is not taught in school. Now I'm seeing a bit of improvement, but let's be honest here. The government doesn't want you to know how to get rich, doesn't want you to know about financial freedom, because they need you to be stuck in that cycle and that rat race so you can pay taxes. Okay, so that's normal that they don't really teach you, or if they do, it's going to be very vague. It's really not going to give you any actionable step to really get started. And money is very broad, right? It's not just about investment. You have to learn about budgeting, saving, credit score, credit cards, like all the things that is related to money. How to earn money, how to make money while you sleep, how to keep money, and how to multiply it. That's a lot to learn. And sometimes it can be scary, especially if you grow up in a family where wealth has not always been around. So it can be very challenging mentally. One thing that I've learned is sometimes when you have no idea how money works, you are scared to make the move. You don't understand really much how you gonna start. So I think the earlier that you start learning, you start your financial literacy journey through YouTube videos, through books, asking questions. Sometimes your parents are not the best people to teach you about money, because if your parents already knew all the keys about money, you guys will be already rich and financially free by now. This is why I'm saying this. I will go to someone who is fully capable to explain to you how money works, and someone who has nothing to gain from it. So even a financial advisor, if this person is selling you stuff, if this person is affiliated with another company to get money out of you, be careful with their advice. I'm talking about people who have your best interests at heart. I feel like at first on my financial journey, for me, it was learning about stocks. For example, I didn't understand at all how it works. It was complete gibberish, and that's normal when you're getting started. But now that I'm in my 20s, things start making way more sense now. Even though I'm not a pro at investing in stock, I feel more comfortable to make the move. So now I already start investing since 2024, but I still have a lot to learn. So imagine if I did not start early on. You get what I mean? Because time does not wait for nobody. So if you want to be ahead of the game, you have to start early. Waking up early, starting early. The best moment was yesterday. So now is the best time. Yesterday's already gone. Okay? So you only have now to build a better future for yourself. Money can be such a taboo topic, but for me, it's not. It's a conversation you need to have. And also, I want you to know, as much money should not be a taboo topic. I'm going to be fully honest with you. I never really have a money conversation with my friends. It was never something that we really talked about deeply. Which credit card are you using? Are you using your points to travel instead of keep using your own money? Are you investing in stock? Which stocks are you investing in? Do you have a real estate asset? I've never had those conversations with my friends. Probably with only one friend that I have conversation about credit cards, but that just stopped there. All my other friends, we never had a deep conversation on finances. Okay, ladies, let's sit down and let's talk money. Never. So this is why this is so important for you to do the work and really be proactive on it. We live in a crazy time where you have access to so much information, which is great, but also the inflation is going crazy and you cannot breathe without spending money. Okay? The software I'm using to record this podcast, I need to pay. To edit my podcast, I need to pay. To go outside, I need to pay. There's nothing in this life that comes for free. You either going to sacrifice your time or money. You know the statement, time is money. So make sure that you have enough money so you can be fully control of your time. And it's a journey. It's never going to be a overnight success. But why don't you start now? Why don't you start now? Because you don't want to be 10 years from now and look at your life and be like, oh my God, why did I not learn about this? Why did I not start that business? You only gonna have your eyes to cry. And I'm telling you, in this world, you need money. Time is money. So make sure you learn how to make some so you can have control of your time. All right. So that's it for today's episode. I hope that I did not lose you throughout this whole episode and that you were able to follow through. This is why I just wanted to do 5 things that I learned in my 20s instead of 10 or 20 things that I've learned. Let's do a series and we'll see how that goes. I'm so grateful to have you. I wish you absolutely the best and you got this. And also, if you're watching me on YouTube, comment. I would like to know what are some things that you learned in your 20s that you think that can be very valuable to other people, that you feel can relate to all of us. And if you don't want to comment what you learned in your 20s, what are some things that I've said that resonate with you? And don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not listening from YouTube, please leave me a review. I'll be glad to read you and to receive some beautiful constructive feedback from you. I wish you all the best and see you on the next one. Bye. Like anything in life, everything comes to an end. Yeah, girl. This concludes today's episode. Again, thank you so much for listening. And remember, you got this. See you on the next one. Bye.